Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. Today we're going to have a look at the brand new Strategy and Tactics issue number 348 from Strategy and Tactics Press, a division of Decision Games. So there's the magazine. I got the map already down. The game included is Siege of Jerusalem. This has been a perennially popular topic among wargamers despite its relative lack of note in the popular imagination, if you will. But AD 70, so this is the same topic as the Avalon Hill Classic Siege of Jerusalem and the much newer Storm over Jerusalem from Multi-Man Publishing. Let us first have a look at the magazine. Now, the map artist here is Tim Allen and Richard Aguirre. It looks pretty nice. I do see a little bit of use of what looks like papyrus, which is not a great choice, but on a map like this, I don't care too much. And it is a hex map, which I prefer as a map style, all of the things being equal. So looking at the magazine, though, we have, first of all, some advertisements, which I will take a look at because they are, generally speaking, wargame advertisements, and hopefully the glare is not too bad here, because last time it was bad. New series appearing in World at War magazine. I have already brought you a unboxing of the game Drive on Leningrad from World at War magazine number 97. The next one, which is Case Blue, is coming. And I'll have some more to say about that when that time comes. But here's Drive on Leningrad, which is already out, and which looks pretty good. Power Politics series, Corrupt Bargain, and Bleeding Kansas. I've heard both of these games are very good, actually. And here's the new version of the Decision Games version of Drive on Stalingrad. It does look nice. It has a mounted map. The counters are well done. Everything looks well put together inside. Here's the table of contents, which I don't feel like I need to run you through. I'm going to buzz through the magazine. Here's the Siege of Jerusalem feature article by Mr. Joe Miranda himself. Here's the Roman Empire in AD 67, which is pretty cool. And of course, this would turn, you might think, if you don't know a lot about this period of history, that this is just kind of a local problem, and it blew up, and the Romans had a bad time of it for a while, but this is a really important historical event, because out of this situation comes the rise of a felon named Vespasian. Here we are, glued into the center of the book is the rule book itself. You can just remove this just by pulling it out carefully. If you're careful, it won't be a problem. Design on the game is by Joe Miranda, managing developers, Mr. Doug Johnson, and map graphics by Tim Allen, Richard Aguirre, counters by Jose Ramon Faura. So cool. As usual, this is probably a 16-page rulebook, because they almost all are at this point. Even in some cases where the game might even be sooner. And here's the response card, subscription card, whatever you want to call it. And this is the sort of cardstock page that the rules are glued into. We've got some more situations here. Selected sources, which is very good. Here's a design article on the game itself. Here is the game ad for those who bought just the magazine. Here's the Battle of Lake Okeechobee, 25 December 1837 by John Pizzola. I know absolutely nothing about this. It is part of the Second Seminole War, however, so that's an interesting topic. These North American wars are actually, I think, an underserved topic in wargaming. Certainly some of the battles. Here's the Harlem Hellfighters Infantry Regiment. This would be World War I. Very nice. And who wrote this one? This is by John Cecil. Cool topic. Glad to see it in here, and it looks like a nice article as well. The magazine is always fantastic. Now, if you don't know, you can just buy the magazine on a newsstand. At least if you go to Barnes & Noble, you can. I hadn't seen the S&T Quarterly last time I was up there, though. Our local bookstores, our friendly local bookstores, have all been driven out of business by Barnes & Noble, so that's what I got up here, unless I want to drive half an hour to go to Books A Million, or drive an hour to get to the only really nice bookstore. But Barnes & Noble does carry Strategy and Tactics and World at War. Here's an ad for Storm of Steel. It's been a long time since I've seen this. Well, an ad for Storm of Steel. I have the game, and it's actually a pretty neat game. If you are interested in Storm of Steel, please do check out my unboxing video on it, because there's a specific version of it you want and a specific version you don't want. You basically want the quote-unquote second edition. It's not really a second edition. It's the main game with the expansion kit materials in it. You can't get the expansion kit, even on the secondary market. I simply don't see it. Here's a big article on the Berlin Airlift by Patrick S. Baker. That's pretty cool. Some sidebar features here for the C-47 Skytrain, among other things. And we're getting sources, which is always fantastic. Aircraft Carriers of the Great War by Joe Miranda. Fascinating sounding article. Here's what's coming up. This Rêve de Gloire is a Napoleonic game. This actually looks super, super, super interesting, designed by Brendan White. Also upcoming is Korea, the Mobile War. That's the next one. Rêve de Gloire is 350. The Bosnian War, the French and Indian War, and Ukraine Battles 2014. Eagles of Rome 1, Caesar. Okay, so these sounds like they got some interesting stuff coming up. Very curious to hear more about Eagles of Rome, Caesar. And you should, by all means, stay tuned on that, if you know what I'm saying. All right, did you know? Cool stuff. Pioneer of Amphibious Warfare, Last Stand of the Modists, Rome's Fighting Water Commissioner, Return of the Special Air Service. Here's Flashpoint on some current stuff. Russian arms in South America, Iran attacking Israel, Russia's new defense minister. I'm skipping the authors here. Javier Romero Munoz and Andrew Mulholland. Russia's new defense minister by Gilberto Villahermosa. Patrick Baker brings us America Builds a Latticework of Coalitions. The Battle of Pinky Cloy. No idea. This is by Chuck Lyons. It is in Scotland. Does not include a pronunciation guide that I could see at a glance. Any Scotsmen that are watching the video, please let me know how I'm supposed to pronounce that. Battle of Wilson's Creek. This is a very important early Civil War battle, actually. 10 August 1861 by Patrick Baker. Very good. Very, very good. It's not a huge battle, but it's really important because General Lyons gets himself killed. Or I should say that Franz Ziegel gets Nathaniel Lyon killed in this battle. I think that is not an irrational way to answer that question. July deal of the month, 3 folio games for $59. And some of these folio games are solid. Currywurst, iconic food from the Ashes. I have to tell you, I'm not sure what this is doing in this magazine, but it's a kind of food of post-war Berlin, so that makes me curious about the article. And I like currywurst, too. 1971 India-Pakistan War POWs by Vernie Liebel. Also interesting. Afghanistan 79 to 88 by John D. Burt. Soviet air power against the Mujahideen. Oh, this is reviewed by John D. Burt. The book is by Mark Galliotti. I'm probably saying that wrong. Decision games exhibiting in 2004. Only like a couple of them are already in the past. In fact, more than half of them are already in the past. Foxconn, however, is coming up in December, and that's Decision's own convention. That's a first this year. I do know some people that are going. And then BGG, I assume that's Dallas, yeah. So that's later in November. So Doc's been super busy lately, as you can see. Long tradition, 100 issues ago, 200 issues ago. I've got this one. This is First Blood on the Marne. First Blood, Second Marne. I don't have this one. I do have Capriti Bridge, actually. And here's Operation Holland, which I've already brought you a video on. And this is an ad, and this is an ad. So that's the magazine. Very excited about this SD Quarterly coming up, too, actually. That's going to be good. Now, here's the counter sheet that comes with the game. These are 9/16-inch counters on the new, thicker Decision Games brown core stock. Do we have any? I don't see any errata counters for any other games in here. These all look to me as though they are for the Siege of Jerusalem game. So let's put it all back together here while I blab on some more. So the counters look nice. 9/16-inch counters, if I didn't say that. The map looks nice. Like I said, I don't like the use of papyrus because it's overused. But it looks fine on this particular map. It's not too in my face. Interesting looking game, and I have never played a war game on the Siege of Jerusalem, even though, as somebody that took kind of a lot of classes in Roman history, I do know a little bit about it. This was discussed in our sort of promenade, if you will, through the rule of the various Roman emperors in the early period up through Diocletian. Vespasian, who kind of comes out of kind of takes advantage of the situation to show himself as a real leader, and the other guys are boobs, the other guys being the emperors of the year of the 4 emperors, Vespasian himself being the last, and who lasts out the year and considerably farther after that. And you might have seen the name Titus in here. Titus is Vespasian's successor. And then Titus, who is Vespasian's son, dies with no clear heir of his own, and Domitian takes over. Domitian is very unpopular and is assassinated. Titus just dies young. So, Siege of Jerusalem. S&T issue 348.
Massive thanks to the patrons of Ardwulf's Lair, whose support and encouragement make what we do at Ardwulf's Lair possible. Thank you, patrons. Links to help support the channel are in the video description, so check out the Patreon, the Ko-Fi, and the merch store, where you can get snazzy Ardwulf's Lair t-shirts, drinking vessels, and other cool swag. There is also an affiliate link for Noble Knight Games in the video description. If you buy stuff through that affiliate link, it helps us support the channel with Noble Knight store credit. Thank you, Noble Knight. Until next time, thanks for watching, and happy gaming.